Well, good afternoon, my friends. Happy Tuesday. It's the 29th of December. We've got 2 more days, well, technically 3 if you count today. 3 more days left of 2020, and then it's the new year. It feels completely weird to say that because this year has been a really weird one. We all know why, so I'm not going to say it, but yeah, it literally feels like yesterday that we were celebrating the 1st of January 2020, and now the year's just gone and we're going into 2021. Goodness. Today is another day where it is cold and rainy and a little bit miserable. Summer has just disappeared for some reason, so I don't know where it's gone, but I am in a hoodie and I got some trackies on, I got slippers on, and just trying to stay nice and warm. I've just spent my morning editing the vlog of all the footage that I filmed over the last couple of days, and that is now uploaded and scheduled and ready for you to watch. I hope you enjoy it. Today is going to be noisy bird. Today is going to be another one of those sort of tidy up, clean up, get everything back to normal. Noisy bird. Far out. Just getting everything back to normal in my sewing room, just tidying up a little bit and making plans. I am in the mood today to make plans for next year, for my sewing, for my quilting, for you guys here on YouTube. I even might write a post for my blog. I don't think I've written on there for the last 2 years, which is really sad because it's my blog that started this whole thing and I've just really neglected it. Yeah, it's just a tidy and plan sort of day. I'm also trying to distract myself by the thought that tomorrow I have to go back to work. It's only for one day because then I get Thursday and Friday off, but then I'm back on the weekend and then back into normal routine, and I don't want to. So I was about to go through my big Christmas stuff bag, which is just full of all of the different like craftings and ideas that I had to do with you guys during Vlogmas, but it just went all out the window because one, I always over plan and I always sort of mismanage my time and don't realize that on days when I work I just don't have the time to do anything because I'm either editing late into the night and then I have to get up and go to work early in the morning, and then I'm at work all day, and so yeah, things just didn't really quite work out, but that's okay. So I thought I'd go through it and see some of the things that I actually didn't really do, and you know what, we might even still do it. I mean, why not? First of all, I was going to do a Christmas craft for Graham because we always do something. But one, Graham hasn't been all that well over the last couple of weeks. Don't worry, it hasn't been COVID or anything like that. So he hasn't really been up to doing very much and I didn't want to push it. But I bought these paint your own mug kit things where, you know, we could sit down and paint them. But yeah, that didn't happen. So I have 2 of those that maybe, I don't know, it might be for next year. You're going to have to wait another 12 months to see it. I brought some little treat bags. So I was going to do some really nice sort of lovely baking things, like baking gift ideas that went out the window. I also had my pom-pom maker. I was going to do like little Christmas pudding pom-poms and, you know, a nice cute little craft idea. Went out the window. I had my little pushing cross-stitch kit that I got from Kinokuniya when Graham and I went to the city. I was going to maybe try and do one of those, didn't happen. And then finally the really big thing that I was going to try and do, which I think we might still give it a go, why not, is the macrame Christmas tree kit. I was looking forward to doing this so much, but I just didn't get the time because I very much doubt that this will be like a one-day quick thing because I've never done macrame before and it looks a little bit complicated, but I'm very willing to give it a go. But I will keep this aside and we will do this one day in a vlog together, or it won't be a tutorial because I can't teach you because I don't know what I'm doing, but we'll do it in a vlog and see how it works. This year's Vlogmas, I think, it wasn't as successful as I wanted it to be, in all honesty. but I still really enjoyed it, and I'm still really thankful for all of the wonderful messages and comments that I got from you guys, and really encouraging stuff as well, and saying that you're enjoying it for whatever it was that I was doing that day. It's more just me putting a lot of pressure on myself to give you guys good content while also trying to juggle a part-time job and the responsibilities that I have here at home, and yeah, just trying to do everything for everyone. So it's just one of those things, and it just is what it is. So some of these ideas we'll keep for next year's Vlogmas, and then some of the other things we'll possibly do during next year as the year goes along. So most of my Christmas stuff has been put away, and I put it down in this sort of back corner part here where I have all of these quilts hanging, and I was thinking it's time to have a bit of a change up in this room. So my beautiful pixelated rose quilt I'm actually going to take down. I'm going to pop it on my little quilt ladder here, and I'm going to replace it with this quilt that I made ages ago. What's it say? 2017, and this quilt is my star sampler quilt that I did in August of that year. Ta-da! Who remembers this quilt? Hands up if you participated in this quilt along. This was a quilt along that I did with, I think it was a cotton and steel fabrics, and we did 12 different star-based blocks. So I really love this quilt. It's one of my absolute faves. Love the backing, and then the contrast of the binding that I did. It's just a great quilt all around. So we're going to have a bit of a change up. Take this one down, pop that one up, and just have a little bit of a new sort of perspective in the sewing room. I always forget that I did this really awesome succulent / cactus backing for my pixelated rose quilt. It just works so well. For those of you wondering, I finished this quilt February 2019. There is my beautiful Hexie flower quilt label I always do. Love it. There we go. Beautiful. She fits perfectly. Nice. She does have a few little wrinkles, but you know, don't we all? I'm not judging. As you've just seen, I've just done a little bit of a rearrange of my sewing table. It's been something that I was thinking about doing for a little bit, but I could never really be bothered to do it. And so finally today I was like, no, just do it and see what happens. See what it looks like. I think it might be a little bit more practical when I'm working. We'll have to get into a really intense sewing session to see if this setup works, but I'll sort of talk you through it. So I've moved this wooden drawer set from being here in the corner, and I've pushed it over there, and I've just swapped Buzz and my thread thing around so that I can actually get to the threads, because Buzz isn't important. I mean, he's important, but he doesn't have to be in touching reach, but threads need to be, as well as my rulers. I used to have my rulers stacked up right in the middle of the table, and I could never get to them. They were so far away. So I decided to move them down here, and this ruler sort of holding rack that I got from Spotlight earlier this year, it's from So Easy. I absolutely love it. It's such a great way to hold all of the rulers that I use quite a lot. So I have my set square rulers, different sizes. I also have my long rectangular ruler that I use for all of my cutting, and then all of my other bigger squaring blocks that I have there. I also then have my rulers to hand, all of my pencils and hair marker, and then my little sew line glue stick thing, just all of the little bits and bobs that you need when you're sewing. I've got pins, quilting clips, my little snips, and it's all just next to my cutting mat, which is fantastic here at the end of this table. In the drawers, I've put the things that I know that I will need pretty often. So we've got like eyelets, elastic and zippers, and then in the other ones it's just little like junky bits. Then to hand, I also have my book of needles. There's like quilting pins and glue sticks handy there. We've got new rotary blades when I need them, a new packet of needles, and then I've got the 2 quilts that I've kind of got on the go at the moment. So my Winterville quilt that I will continue on with until it's finished, and then also my Liberty flower quilt that I started in Everyday May. So I'm pretty happy with that setup. Here in the corner I have my old sewing machine that I use when I need to do like zigzag stitches and other sort of decorative stitches. I've got my overlocker there, and then here in the corner is a whole bunch of fabrics and pre-cuts and bundles and lots of other fun things. I've got a beautiful mug full of all of my scissors. I love having them down at this end of the table because I use them a lot when I'm sewing and I'm standing up, so they're just easy just to reach over and grab. This bag is all of my sewing machine bits and bobs, and again it's just one of those little zippy pouches that I absolutely love making, and it just holds everything that I need. So when I'm changing the foot or the needle or anything, it's all in this pouch. I then have my beautiful Disney Paris tin that my friend Aisha got me when she went to Disneyland Paris, and it's just full of notions and fun beautiful sewing things. And then I have a glass jar full of Disney Tsum Tsums because I've got nowhere else to put them. And there we are. This is a really nice quick little tour of my sewing desk slash the things that I've changed today. So as I mentioned, when I have like a intense sewing session, I'll be able to see if this is going to work for me. Everything that I need is all at hand. I have a lot more room to put fabrics out and to cut, so hopefully it should be alright. I'm really happy with it. Although now that I've sort of sorted out the top, I desperately need to figure out and sort out the bottom of the table. It's just an absolute mess. There's so much stuff in here that I've just sort of shoved in. So this is the side of a sewing desk that you don't often see. I have a full tub of fabric here, and there's another one in behind it. I have bolts of fabric here that I never use. Tissue box, which is nice and handy because my nose is always running. I have a pigeonhole full that is crammed of patterns. This is all my at-hand sewing stuff, so my unpicker, my quilting gloves. We've got my sewing machine manual and lots of different sulky threads that I just do not use. I don't know why I have them. In here is like my heavy tools. So I've got my staple gun and my hammer, Vlizer fix and all that sort of stuff. Down here is all of my embroidery. We've got camera chargers, all of my little wallets that I've made up. There's like labelers. This is all of our wrapping stuff. This is all scrap fabrics, and then there's another scrap fabric tub behind here. And then this is an old sewing machine. I think there's another one in behind it. This is all projects that I started when I was very first quilting. Maybe I'll show you them one day. My mum also has her labeler under there, her laminator. I think some of her tack stuff that you have to keep for like years and years, just cluttering up the space. But yeah, this is definitely something that I need to go through and sort sometime next year. I really feel like this room seriously needs a cleanse. I need to go through things and just get rid of things that I just don't use. Just pass it on to someone else who will be able to use it more than what I can. And now that I'm looking at it, I also have this whole section here. So this is all full of fabrics. I've got all of this stuff down here. That's all projects that need to be started or are half started. I got my bookshelf and all this fabric down here. It's a nightmare. And then if you might notice, this is a filing cabinet that needs to go. My parents hardly use it and it's just a waste of space. But on top of it, hid behind this board of all the kids' drawings is all my floristry stuff that I just cannot get rid of because I spent so much money on all my floristry tools and sundries. So that's what's all up the top there. And then there's also this section here, these two little things full of fabrics and craft things. Yeah, I really want to make getting this room back to a perfect little bubble, a perfect little space for me in the new year. because I love being in this room. This is where I feel safe and I feel creative and I feel the most happiest. And so I wanted the room to reflect that. I want it to be usable, functionable. I want to have things organized, and I don't know, just to have it as a space where I can work the most effectively and creatively. Hopefully, now that I've said it out loud, something will come about with it. Who knows? We'll see what happens. As the rain pitter-patters outside, it's the perfect time to complete a craft that I started during Vlogmas and I didn't get a chance to get back to until now, and that is completing the little air-dried clay ornaments that I made for my family of 4. So I did gift the ones that I made Kevin and Amy and their family for Christmas, and they loved them. They were very, very happy with them, and I got lots of questions and things on how I made them. But now I just have to finish doing the glazing for Mum, Dad's, mine and Graham's to put on our tree, even though Christmas is over and we will be taking down our Christmas tree within the next week, I'd say. But you know, no time like the present. And I'm also just sick of them just sitting here on my computer table just taking up space. So yeah, I'm just gonna spend some time completing them and letting them dry and hopefully have them finished by tomorrow. Well, good morning my friends and happy Friday. It is the 15th of January and I know I'm a little bit late on the bandwagon, but happy new year. It is 2021 and I am saying hi to the vlog camera once more. It's been quite a while since I've said hello to you. I'm going to be completely honest with you. The reason why I haven't vlogged or vlogged more than I said that I would is I just lost all motivation to do anything. As soon as like Vlogmas was kind of officially over and the new year hit, I was like, I don't know, I lost my mojo like literally overnight and I just didn't want to do anything. I haven't touched my sewing machine. I haven't wanted to be in this room. I don't know, I just haven't had any motivation to do anything. Nothing creative, or I don't know whether it was just my mind saying you need a break, you just need to chill out and just literally do nothing, just be like a bit of a couch potato. So yeah, that's why I just sort of haven't been vlogging over the last like fortnight or something. I don't even know where to start. Lots of things have been happening over the last week or so, which I think has contributed to just having no, you know, motivation to do anything. First of all, my roster at work has changed, so just getting used to the new times that I'm working. I'm working different days now. It's just sort of getting that routine up and running. Another thing that's been happening, and I'm sure Graham won't mind me saying this, I won't go into too much detail about it, but Graham is in hospital again. He's been in there for the last week. He is battling with his anemia again. He has aplastic anemia, or a specific like branch of aplastic anemia. He just sort of got to a point where he needed to go to hospital and get some blood transfusions, and yeah, just a few other things are just sort of happening there. But he's in the right place and he's getting the right healthcare and he's in an isolation ward, so there's no threat of him being near people who have COVID. The hospital that he's in is really great with having a screening process. When you first walk in, you have to have your temperature checked and leave all your details and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's just a thing that's happening, and because of that there's a little bit more needed of me at home, you know, just to be able to help out and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just the first fortnight of the year has just been a little bit of a challenging one. So yeah, that's where we're at. So today is Friday. I haven't had a Friday off in ages, but because of my new roster, I now get Fridays off, which is always very exciting. And I also have the weekend off as well. So I have 3 days of just being at home, and I love that because obviously I don't go anywhere. The only time I ever really leave my house is to go to work, and then I come back home again. So the next 3 days I'm gonna try and get a little bit of a, I don't know, I'm gonna have to force myself into doing something just little bits at a time. Today I would like to fire up the sewing machine and do a little bit of sewing. Throughout the year I'm going to still focus on my Winterville quilt. I want to get it finished by Christmas. Let's make that a goal. I don't know whether it's going to happen, but I will be working on that throughout the year. It is still on my wall. Hello. It's just where I left it. I haven't done anything with it. I just haven't been motivated to even think about doing anything about it. But in saying that, today I'm actually not going to do anything more with the Winterville quilt. Again, I just sort of want to ease myself into things and just do some fun little sewing project. So I was thinking I would like to make another little block wall hanging for my wall. I know I did start one during my Everyday May series, or a second one. I don't know where that is. It's somewhere in my sewing room, but I'm going to make another one because I really want to fill this wall that's behind me, or in front of me. What am I talking about? Full of lovely little blocks. So I've had this pattern again. I think I downloaded this and shared this during my Everyday May series last year. And it's this gorgeous little happy bee block from Sugary Doo. And I think I want to make it today and put a little bee on my wall because I do love bees, even though I'm absolutely petrified of them, and I have a small phobia of bees from past traumatic experiences in my childhood. But I do love bees. Bees pollinate our world and make life work. Being a trained florist, I know the workings of bees and understand their importance in nature. So where am I going with this? I don't know. But I'm going to make a bee. I'm going to see how well that goes today. I would like to just do some cutting and piecing and pressing and maybe even do some quilting today. Like, I just want to do really basic, simple sewing, I suppose, and sort of really touch back on why I love quilting and yeah, just get back into that happy zone that I always love being in when I'm sewing. So that's what we're going to do. I think I'm going to do my little bee out of solid fabrics. I'm not going to do any pattern fabrics. So I'm going to raid my solids basket and try and find some appropriate fabrics. I'll possibly follow the same sort of colour scheme that's going on in the pattern. But yeah, I'm excited. I think once I get going, I'll get more into it. It's just that starting, which is like the hard bit for me, I think. So I'm going to stop procrastinating and stop rambling and do some sewing. Yeah. My pieces for the block are all cut, and I have to say that would have to have been the most fiddliest, smallest of pieces I've cut for a block ever. There are so many different little measurements, and some of the little units that I've cut are so tiny that I don't know whether I've done it wrong. Like, they are the smallest little squares, so hopefully I've done it right. perhaps those little bits, oh, I think they're for the wings. Okay. Alright, well maybe I don't feel so weird about it. Alright, let's get sewing. Oh, actually, I need to show you the fabrics I've chosen. So I've gone yellow for the bee body, light blue for the wings. I've gone a really nice, lovely dark navy for the black stripes and eye. And then a really nice sort of creamy, natural, unseeded sort of backing fabric. So I think that's going to look great. And harking back on my fine arts days, blue and yellow are complementary on the colour wheel, so they will always look really nice together. So fingers crossed the theory is correct. It is warm. I had to throw my hair up because I was getting sweaty. Too much information, but you know how it is. Are you ready for the final reveal? It is the sweetest thing I think I have ever made of what I can remember. Ready? Oh my gosh. I actually didn't realize it was going to be this small. I should have known just how small it would have been with all those tiny little pieces that I cut, but I actually thought it was going to be a bigger block than this. What does it say on the pattern? Finished size 6 by 6. Mine turned out to be 6.5 because I trimmed it with my 6.5 inch set square, but it is so adorable. Oh my gosh, I love it. Quick review, it is a very fiddly sort of block to make, especially these little bits up here. I had to unpick this once because it wasn't meeting up properly. A few of the measurements I think are slightly off, but that's okay, we got around it. I'd say that this possibly isn't great for beginners. Intermediate to more advanced quilters, I think, is best suited to this block. But I just think it's gorgeous. Let's turn around at the back. Those are all my stitching workings to create that. But yeah, super sweet block. It actually came together a lot quicker than what I thought and very effective. It's so adorable. After lunch, I'm going to sort of keep riding this wave of a little bit of motivation and quilt it and bind it and then finish it. Pop it up on the wall. I'm going to back it with this stripy fabric. I think that works very well. And then I'm going to bind it using the light blue fabric that I used for the wings. I think that'll sort of frame it off quite nicely. So that's kind of our lovely little palette of colours. I think using the navy blue works really well. It looks black, but there in the light you can see that it's navy. But yeah, I'm so chuffed with that. Happy days. Right, let's go eat because I'm hungry, and then we'll come back and do some quilting. It is later on in the afternoon and I'm ready to do some quilting. I have just put my lovely sandwich together. Delicious. So I've got the stripy backing and I've just sandwiched it with a piece of iron-on purlin, which is a really nice lightweight kind of crafters wadding stuff. And then I just did a couple of quick sprays of basting spray to keep the little bee on the front. The way I'm going to quilt it, I'm just going to do straight lines and I'm going to keep them quite close together, I think. Yeah, I can sort of picture it in my mind's eye that that's going to be the best choice. So I'm just going to change the foot on my machine to my walking foot. It's in here somewhere. There we go. Nice big beauty. We'll put some good tunes on and we'll cook this little baby up. It's not going to take that long. 10 minutes, 15 minutes max maybe? Don't know. We'll see. We'll see. There she is, all quilted. That literally took me about 8 minutes. So I did lots of tiny little stitches and I'm pretty happy with it. I quite like how the white thread almost adds to the stripes. Oh yeah, looks cool. I'm going to carry on to the next step and I'm going to make the binding out of the light blue fabric, stitch it on, and then I'm actually going to finish this one by hand because I just feel like doing some wholesome hand sewing in front of the TV. She's gorgeous. I'm really happy with the way the binding worked out. I did a really scant 1/4 inch seam around it so that I have a really skinny sort of binding border on the front, and then on the back it's nice and thick. Looks good. I'm happy with it. So I've got my little tools here to go sit down and start tacking by hand. There was another reason why I wanted to do the binding by hand instead of the machine like I did for my table runner during Vlogmas, is that I got a new thimble and I want to test it out. So usually when I'm sewing the binding by hand, I use this little thimble. It's called a thumble and it fits on your thumb. Can you see the little groove there? That's where the needle goes in and then you push it through with your thumb. I love this thing and it's one of the few things that I highly recommend to get in your quilting kit to use when you're doing any sort of hand sewing or sewing the binding on, because it just saves your thumb. But I saw these ones at work and they're by Hemline. You get 2 sizes in a packet, so like a small to medium and then a medium to large. I think these ones can be worn on any finger, but I want to put it on my thumb. It feels good on my thumb. And it has like this pad at the front of like hard plastic that you'll be able to put the tip of your needle in and push. So I'm going to test it out. I'll still have this one to hand if I don't like this one. But yeah, I want to see what it's like. Happy days, my little bee is finished. Just popping everything back in its place. I'm very happy with the way it's turned out. It is the sweetest thing ever. Oh, it reminds me of a Disney bee from like Winnie the Pooh. I love it. It's so cute. This turned out to be the most perfect little project that I wanted to do today. I just wanted to do something really simple, quick and cute just to sort of dip my toe back into the sewing pool waters thing. So now that she's finished, I'm going to pop it up on the wall. I think I'm going to put it there, just like off-centered. I think it'll look cool there. So I've just got 2 little basic little pins and I'm just going to put them right in the top corners here and then stick them in the wall. Perfect. She looks lovely up there. So what do we think? Does it look good there? What a successful and happy day of sewing. It's exactly what I needed. and I'm glad I didn't have any sort of major issues with anything. I'm going to end this first vlog for 2021 here. I did film a day, I think it was a couple of days just before New Year's, that I have put at the start of this vlog, so who knows how long it actually is. But thanks as always for sticking around. I'm going to do my best to try and vlog a little bit more now that we've sort of got the creative juices and the mojo, you know, sort of back on track. I really want to do some more block tutorials this year because it's kind of like what I built my channel on and what drew a lot of you to my channel, I think. So I would love to do some more block tutorials. So if there are any blocks you would like me to demonstrate and show you how to make, then let me know in the comments below and I will look into it. But until then, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're all well and are staying well and are having a lovely start to this new year. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye bye.